All right, how you guys doing on this wonderful Sunday morning? Since you guys are not in church or anything like that, thank you for joining me to talk about the NASCAR Cup Series race at COTA. Now, for me personally, look, I'm just not a fan of road courses. Okay, I played light yesterday. Clearly didn't work out or anything. Just not. However, I will say that I'm very happy that Caden and Garcia did well, and nobody was on them. I think they were both under 4% owned. But I'm trying to think who wrecked in Truck Series. I only did 3 lines for each race, and every line had one dude who either had a mechanical issue, or failure, or something of the sort. Let me upload some stuff real fast. But look, I'm just not playing a lot today. That's just how it is, which is fine. Like if you don't like certain tracks, if you don't feel confident or comfortable, like I played light, ish last week at Atlanta, didn't work out. This week I really don't like road courses, so I am just not going to do that. So make sure I got Jordan Taylor in here. Let's go ahead and run some of these lines in the background just so I have something to look at when it comes to answering stuff. Sorry, let me move this over. Anyway, as I get that going, today's race at COTA can go a lot of different ways. I mean, just for me personally, I don't know how many lines I can do. I might just end up doing one and just throw it in the 15 to 4 and stuff. I mainly just my main interest today is honestly just watching how far I can get in the PGA contest. Hopefully we can at least finish 80th or something, because I still got Scheffler, Roy, and Cameron Young today. We're currently 101st right now, or tied for 101st in the main GPP. I'm hoping I can end up right around 80th by the end of today. There's a lot of people who don't have 3 golfers left, so that's honestly my main just kind of sweat or watch today. So I'm much more interested in watching that than the COTA race today, because COTA's just kind of just lame, dude. It's lame as hell. In terms of what was it? In terms of this race here, and I mean this might be more for the lower series, but we've seen COTA and the road courses for whatever reason be way more mechanically dependent than it used to for whatever reason. I'm not exactly sure what the culprit is behind that. Lack of practice, lack of testing and stuff. But we're slowly seeing more and more mechanical failures and mechanical issues for those series. We might end up seeing that again. We've kind of seen it before. People will end up, breaking control arms or having issues with the transaxle, whatever the case may be. You can't shift up or can't shift down. It gets locked in gear. I mean, there's just a lot of things I personally don't enjoy about building lineups for road course races. Another one being is the build that this kind of ends up going or looking like. Like today, let me go ahead, swap screens real fast. I want to see more of this real quick. Like outside, let's not even talk about the leaders real fast. Who are the chalk plays? Who are people that are most likely to be owned and stuff? At least based on my stuff, based on my projections and everything like that. It seems like Austin Dillon is going to be quite popular. Eric Almirola, clearly, because he's starting dead last. Ryan Blaney. And just so for me, from a lineup construction approach, which yet again, who I don't remember who was, it was Crafton in the Truck Series. Nearly 60-70% owned. Made it through the field and then got cucked by a teammate through the S's when Deegan spun him out. It was very, very curious, a very, very curious instance of what happened with Crafton's car, because yet again, there are no reports out there. These reporters they can't do anything. But I was honestly really curious, not even outside of not even like a tilting perspective, but just I was like, hey, I'm curious what happened with Crafton's car, because none of he didn't have any damage or anything. Sure, he went 2 miles with the bumper filled with grass, but I don't believe that should have overheated the engine entirely too much. So I'm assuming that another mechanical issue happened. Either way, when we get to road courses and stuff, and this can go if you're playing 150 lines, if you're doing 20, whatever the case may be, certainly if you're in the 15, these are instances where you have I'm pretty honestly clear as day plays like Ryan Blaney, like Matt Crafton, like Brandon Jones. Okay, this week we're 50-50 on that play working. Ryan Blaney is that play today. I think you play Ryan Blaney. I think it's very dumb to get off of him. I think a lot of lines are going to work with him, and I don't mean to just absolutely trash on chalk plays and stuff. I've really worked on not being like, oh, I don't like this slate, or I don't like this, blah, blah, blah. But, when we're so limited on fast laps and laps led, it really does default to place differential plays and place differential plays like Blaney, where he should have a much clearer path to success versus Eric Almirola, who can also easily work out stuff. But everybody should be using Ryan Blaney, and so your first instance there is, do you fade him or not? I think you just play him and move on, and don't necessarily worry about anything else. When we're looking at other plays that are going to be quite highly owned, it seems that Austin Dillon is getting forced into stuff as well. At least based on my stuff, it's very interesting. The starting range this week, or not the starting range, but the positions of Harvick, Austin Dillon, Brad Keselowski, even Chris Buescher. If you include Ryan Blaney and Eric Almirola, so you have Dillon, Harvick, Keselowski, Buescher, Blaney, and Eric Almirola, those 6 drivers, I think 3 of those are optimal. 2 for sure. 3 maybe. 4 might be pushing it, because you'll probably end up needing whoever the main lap leader is, and then probably a place differential play between Chastain, Larson, Bell, and even McDowell, even Hamlin, one of those guys. But I don't know. This is it's very unfortunate it turned into that. But if you're up against a lot of 150 guys here, and I don't mean to use that as a dismissal to be like, oh, well, they're going to win it for sure. Hey, guys, that's just how it's going to be. But, Xfinity yesterday, split up top. I think today's a very similar approach. If you would just run a player pool of Byron, Reddick, you could include AJ in there, Bubba Wallace, Ross Chastain, Larson Bell, McDowell, Hamlin, Austin Dillon, Harvick, Keselowski, Chris Buescher, Ryan Blaney, and Eric Almirola. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I think inside those 15 drivers is the optimal, or at least a very, very high scoring line. And if you're running 150 just based on that player pool, you're going to probably end up scoring pretty well today. At least up top. You might have some guys wreck out or some guys not score well, but the chance that you have a real shot at a top 10% line and a top 5% line is pretty high, just including those 15 drivers. And so that's just kind of why I'm not very interested here. First off, I don't like road courses. I'm usually pretty bad at them. I can never really figure out if I want to play the chalk, fade the chalk, just how it is, man. Even sometimes when I try and get different, Road America last year, was the year before, maybe been 2 years ago at this point. But I just remember kind of the same thing. Just did one line, wanted to get it different enough, got onto Eric over Bell, missed the optimal. I just don't feel it today, man. I am playing Blaney in my one line. That's just where I'm at. I don't really have a lean on what I want to do between Austin Dillon, Harvick, and Keselowski right now. I think they're all fantastic plays. I would honestly prefer Austin Dillon and Keselowski over Harvick, just to try and get off the ownership. But I'm not going to fault you if you play either one of those 3 guys. Let's go ahead and look at the chat real fast. Let's see, man. You got to stop redacting things before I see them. Let me see. Happy to have you here, Matthew. What's going on, Kyle? Thank you for joining me on the CSGO stream last night. I'm glad that some of you guys joined in, had a good time, and kind of goofed around and just enjoyed hanging out. You should do golf videos. No, fuck that. In my opinion, as an independent creator, that's one of the worst things you can do, is make content for a lot of different stuff. That's not, like, I play a lot of DFS. I'm not going to talk like I know jack shit about NBA, like I know jack shit about golf. I love Counter-Strike. I'm not making videos that are going to get 10 views for Counter-Strike, like that's, I like talking NASCAR. I will talk NASCAR for hours, and you have to have that passion. Me covering golf would be like, I don't know. Well, what does Rick run good like? What is Fantasy National like? Like, that just doesn't do anything, you know. So man, fuck that. I ain't doing that. My DK line: Larson, Chastain, Taylor. Jonathan Taylor, not Jonathan Taylor. Jordan Taylor, Dinger, Gregson, Gibbs. Can't fall. Also, that's another aspect. Entering this week, and thank you very much, Pat, for the super chat and the donation and the support to the channel. Thank you very much for doing that 2 days in a row and several weeks in a row at this point. Thank you. Another aspect of this race that I think is truly here, that is a major, major thing, is I firmly believe you cannot pass today. I really think that. Entering this week and certainly entering next week at Richmond. Like, Richmond, hey, we're gonna go back to playing 20 lines. I'll go back to throwing away, $300 on a fucking slate. But for this one, that's honestly a really, really big concern, is that you cannot pass. You just can't pass in this car. So that type of lineup with Gregson, Ty Gibbs, some people might see that and be like, that's gross. I don't like that. That has none of the place differential back. There's a fantastic chance that can actually outscore and perform very well. And it's gonna I would bet $100 that lineup is going to be inside the cash bubble for probably 3/4 of the race, to be honest with you. If it gets there at the end, it really depends on if we get cautions and what Keselowski, Harvick, Dillon, and Blaney do in the back. But if it goes green and we don't have a lot of stupid stuff, and all it takes is one idiot puncturing a tire, blowing a tire, getting stuck in the grass, that just throws all this stuff away. But that's an awesome line if this race does go green and you can't pass. So that is not mine there. Let's see what's going on, Big. Happy to have you here. Gillen, I think, is a better play than Eric Almirola. I mean, you should not play Eric Almirola today. That's just where I'm at. I don't believe, because you can look at this two ways. One, Eric Almirola, he gets 25th. He's getting fantastic value. Actually, Eric Almirola hits value at 26th. So it's literally, can Eric Almirola drag his bacon butt to 26th? Don't know, man. Honestly, don't know. If this race goes green, that's how it is. Now, he has fantastic experience from yesterday. He's got the reps down. That's a huge thing. That's honestly a huge lean towards Eric Almirola. But even if he scores, like 30 points, 31 points, 33, there's a chance that Eric Almirola could score 38 points and not be optimal. Just due to the fact that you can get several people slightly more expensive than him, but not too more expensive, scoring high 40s, low 50s, somewhere around there. And so Eric Almirola could have a good day and still not be optimal. When you look back at his races last year, 19th, finishing this race, COTA 2021, it's 26th. Him hitting, he's hit, if we're judging off of what he did in those two races here, just general, not being like, COTA 21 was a wreck fest, blah, blah, blah. If he can even his best career finish at COTA, which is 26th, he's hitting value. So it's not necessarily a value or a total play. It's just a math play. Does he end up working out? Do you need that $5,800 to get him in? What type of lines are you building with Eric Almirola? Let's take a quick look. I'm assuming that you're using close to all the salary, which that's what it's looking like. You're probably using people like Byron, Larson, Blaney together. 3 to 4 9K guys, and that's really it. Like, if you're using 3 9K guys or 3 9 to 10K guys, probably an 8K driver, you're using Eric Almirola. If you don't build that way, if you're leaning more towards the Harvick, Keselowski, Buescher line, you probably don't need Eric Almirola. That's just the situation that we're in. So Eric Almirola will just depend on what type of build you're using, and if that build ends up working through or ends up working out. If a lot of place differential comes through, I don't believe you need Eric Almirola, but that's just where it at. This is I just don't feel it. That's just how it is. What's going on, Ryan? Thank you very much for the super chat as well. Yet again, you guys aren't even throwing comments or anything in that. You guys just here, take this money as a support. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Gillen, brother, I'm not playing. I'm certainly not playing Gillen. I really don't think you need to go to the 5K range today. That's just where it's at. That's where I'm at. But I would absolutely play Eric Almirola over Todd Gilliland if you're in that. What's up with Cole Custer? Stuck in gravel for a while yesterday before getting yellow. Yeah, I mean, that's just NASCAR. I mean, it's not that he was stuck. They threw the yellow. They just take forever to get him there. And the poor bastard did nothing wrong. He's just running there, and he got spun. I'm telling you. And then Jones took out, was it Jeb Burton? Somebody fucked some people in the Discord over yesterday. Yeah, Jeb Burton got spun by Brandon Jones in the final corner. Jones finished 11th and Burton finished 21st. Apparently, Jeb was up there right at the end. I mean, these races are just so crazy. You guys watch how they race. Like, it's not even fun racing. I don't know. Like, it's fun watching AJ go through the field on his roid rage, but like he's just absolutely just moving people out of the way. If I was Creed, oh my man, like you knew AJ was gonna dump Creed. That's just how it was. Okay, whatever. Clear lineup build is one top 13 guy the usual. Then I don't believe so at all. I mean, like honestly, going back, man, I think I would lean more to 60-65% chance that you just can't fucking pass in this race. So, and I don't know who's gonna be the race winner or the leader. Like, okay, I mean, I say that I got Byron projected for first, Reddick projected for second, Lars projected for third, Kyle Busch projected for third, Ross Chastain projected for fourth. You know, several guys tied for sixth, and so on and so forth. But it could be either or Blaney, or not Blaney. It could be Byron. It could be Reddick right off the line. I would not be shocked to see Cindric throw it to the inside and take the lead out of turn one. Like, that would not shock me. Suarez has his freaking family from Monterrey, Mexico here. Of course, he's going to have a fire under him. Like, honestly, anybody in the top five could lead out of turn one today. You know, do I really want to mess around with that? Do I really just want to chase lines with that unknown when I don't have a field? No, not at all. That's why I'm not playing a lot. Going to this question here, the clear build is one top 13 guy, the usual. I mean, I don't believe so at all. I really don't. I think there's a lot of arguments to be made that you might honestly want to go. Let me bring this over here. You might want to go like 3 guys in the top 10. And hope that they can just hold on to their positions here. Like Jordan Taylor clearly has speed. You know, starting fourth, $7,500. I currently have him projected to finish 7th, you know, and that's 35 points. You know, but if you bump him up to if he holds his position and finishes 4th, you know, that's not bad at all. That's, oh man, messed up my sheet. You know, if he can score, you know, right at like 38 points, even if he finishes like top 3 or something, like there's a real chance that Jordan Taylor could squeeze off like 3 to 5 fast laps in this race, just running like 4th and 5th all day, and like he's not going to kill your line. You know, Bubba Wallace running 11th all day is not going to kill your line. You know, Bubba has had horrific finishes here with 38th and 39th, but you know, good practice speed. Like I don't think there's a wrong approach to this race, and I hate saying that because that's a very wide open and general speaking race here, but that's just kind of how it is. And I'm trying to do my best, not run pure to where I just waste your time talking Kyle Larson ownership for half an hour. But I really don't. I don't like this race at all, man. I have no real lean. I know I'm playing Larson for sure. I know that going in. I'm playing Larson. I'm playing Blaney. Past that, I have no idea who I'm chasing up top. I've been thinking about that last night, thinking about it here. Byron is the guy I have projected right now, but do I want to chase Byron? Do I not want to chase him? You know, a lot of things can happen or open up there. Jordan Taylor going to get some, yeah, he'll most likely just get run the fuck over, because he's gonna race people clean. Same thing with like Kimmy and Button. They're gonna absolutely get bullied here. I mean, they're gonna be taken to the latrine and given swirlies. It's not even a joke. They're gonna get run over. Yeah, Ty Gibbs starting 17th. I mean, the guy literally has top 10 speed across the board in every facet, in every way you would look at it. He has top 10 speed. I gave him 13th. That's 34 points. That's overvalue. If he does anything more than that, Ty Gibbs can very easily work to be optimal. Like the whole race is wide open today. So where I'm at, because I'm not playing as much as my usual. I'm only doing one line. I normally do 20. I would want to fade a lot of ownership. Now, as I said, I think Blaney ends up being the place differential that comes through, because we know we're going to have a place differential come through in the line, whatever the case may be. Blaney has great speed. He's starting second to last. Okay, he's a fantastic road course racer. I think you plug Blaney in and move on. But past that, I would like to play the lower owned individuals directly pivoting off of higher owned guys. That's why I like Keselowski. I don't know if Keselowski's going to be owned, because Dillon's popping up a lot. People are probably want to go to Kevin Harvick over Keselowski. People would probably want to go Chris Buescher over Keselowski based on what he's done recently at road course races. I think Keselowski makes a good play. Honestly, McDowell starting 20th. Watch, this will be the one time I actively play McDowell, and the guy will money shift and destroy the car somehow, some way. But I like McDowell. I like Ty Gibbs. Let's honestly look at it that way. If you play, which would probably kind of be the way that I kind of want to goof around with today and just kind of get different. If you play Ty Gibbs and McDowell, that's $9,000 left over. It's so easy to get whoever you want in that and have a pretty decent line. That's the type of build that I would want to go with. It leans into I don't think people are going to necessarily be able to pass. You're getting McDowell, who had fantastic speed, and the only reason he qualified 20th is because he spun out. That's just how it is in qualifying. If he doesn't spin out, McDowell probably starts 7th today. And I've actively seen that I need to play these bad guys, or not bad guys, but people who are just going to hold positions. McDowell, he's $7,100. I think he could very easily pay that off. Or hit value, or certainly be there, score high 30s, low 40s. That's the type of play that I would like. Ty Gibbs as well. So I think you just embrace the ugly plays today, or people who aren't very attractive in terms of their potential. Honestly, between Chris Buescher and Ty Gibbs, I think that's very much a coin flip. I think a lot of these plays are coin flips, and so I would honestly just play the lower owned guys. Thank you very much, Dan Hagen. I'm always afraid that I'm going to butcher names here, but thank you very much. I'm glad that I somehow helped you win that amount of money. Thank you very much. Let's see. Byron Larson. Also, guys, come on. Why are you just putting your lines in the chat? Come on. You gotta hold this. Gotta hold your cards. Keep your cards in your hand. Don't show the whole table what you got. But Byron Larson, Chastain, Blaney, Stenhouse, Gregson. I don't like Stenhouse, but I think that. I don't. I'm not playing Gregson either. I think Gregson's a legit terrible play. Yeah, sure, he made it in the final round of qualifying, but that would if he. Yikes, man! I don't like that speed at all that Gregson has. Honestly, I would much rather play McDowell over Gregson. I know those are two drastically different. Play that's almost 1,000 as well. Let's look at Gregson in terms of his salary. Who's around him that I would prefer? Probably Eric Almirola. If you're considering playing Gregson, just fucking play Eric Almirola and call it a day, man. That's what I would do. Cindric versus Bowman. Let's answer this based on looking at lap data. Which let me go ahead and bring my thing up over here, so you guys can just see what we are looking at here. So where's my Cup COTA sheet here? So here, okay, so I have everything here. I post this in Discord. I didn't even bother pulling it for the Truck and Xfinity races. I had the lap times and stuff, but posting it was already out there on Twitter and stuff. But I like just having this to look at. So this is practice laps. This is speed at the line, which I normally pull anyway. I just already had this here. I already have another scraper that was pulling lap times, so I just kept the speed at the line, which is honestly kind of interesting. I wish NASCAR. The one thing I do like about F1 is it has sectors that you can look at specifically in practice. Sector 1, Sector 2, Sector 3. This is a great example of where people are coming out of the last corner. from last quarter to the line, you see a pretty big discrepancy in terms of speed there. This is time in seconds, so 133 seconds here. Also, I removed all the laps that, if you go in the pits and stuff, you come out with like, a lap time of 1,847 seconds or whatever. Also, another thing that's interesting is this is when I was not confused when I'm like, am I pulling the right data? This is like when we look at, we use I know Stenhouse is a guy that pops in here. Let me look. We use Cindric. I think Cindric as well. So when we look at Cindric's time at the stripe, it's so interesting that, and these pulled at the exact same time. And I started both these well before practice started. We have one pull here at the line. He's in pit lane here. Whereas here, a time lap, whatever it is, then he's in the pits, and I removed that. Anyway, long story short, I mean, these are just where people line up. You also have the average best 5 lap, 10 lap runs here, so on, so be it. I just have it here to just, basically just so people can see it real fast. But for most of it, I don't know, man. Oh yeah, so what was I answering here? I was answering the Cindric versus Bowman. So when we look specifically at those drivers, Cindric and Bowman, we have you got Cindric has the 7th best overall in practice, but his 5 lap run, because he didn't run a 5 lap run. So this is like, I think this is from NASCAR's own thing. His 5 lap run is 33rd, but when you look at his laps in general, and you look at how fast he ran, he is the 3rd best driver when we look at his laps. So like he has 1, 2, 3, 4 like fantastic good laps. Actually, that is 7th best. So he has a 92. 1, 2, 3, 4. His average is a 92.1 in terms of excuse me. His practice, he's ranked 7th. So when we look at Cindric versus Bowman, let me X out of these. Bowman is 13th best ranking. When we look at Bowman's, he was 20th best in practice, 13th best in average speed. His 5 lap run is 10th. Best 4 lap average is Cindric being 7th, and then Bowman being 13th fastest. So between these two plays, Cindric has the better speed. I have Cindric projected right around, I think it's right around 4 laps led, like 2 fast laps or something like that. And I have him projected for 6. I have Bowman projected for 12. I would lean Cindric there, but I would probably not go to either of those drivers there. Might just lock in Larson and Blaney. I'm going to run those guys. That's where it's at. McDowell needs to put it all together. Man, he's going to be so good. Is he? Man, I don't know. I hate McDowell. This guy is so fucking... I can never get him right, dude. I can never get him right. So we're gonna embrace McDowell here, and hope all his go-kart experience really pays off here. And look at these fucking finishes on these stupid road courses, man. 8th, 30th, 8th, 30th, 13th, 7th, 8th, 10th, 27th, 16th, 32nd, 12th, 18th, 6th, 21st, 16th, 8th. Like, this guy is nuts. That's not even looking at Sonoma. When we go and look at Sonoma, the 3rd, 28th, 25th, 21st, like, he's got speed, man. He knows what he's doing. I'm gonna be actually, I want to be furious. That was one awesome thing yesterday, because it's only 3 lines. What is that? Like, I didn't even do the 1. I just did the 10, the 4. That's like $42 per race or something like that. None of those lines cash. I'm not even worried about it. Didn't even piss me off or anything, man. So thank God we had that. I hate the weeks when it's like, man, I got 20 lines in there and none of them are gonna cash. No, they're not even close. I completely missed on lap leader, and then those weeks suck. So, McDowell, do whatever you want to do, man. When I have you and you don't you don't perform, that's just how it's going to be. Let's see. How do you feel about Burton today? I'm not playing Burton. I'd rather play Bubba Wallace than Burton, but I don't either like one of those. I'm finding it hard to not play AJ Allmendinger today. I have played AJ Allmendinger at every single Cup road course ever in history. And sometimes he works out, sometimes he doesn't. The stupid guy normally qualifies top 10, so a lot of times his finish at Indy in 2022, his Road America finish at 9th, not 9th. I don't exactly remember where he qualifies in all these. But there's a lot of times AJ doesn't pay off his stupid price tag because he's starting inside the top 10 and then he just finishes like 7th or 5th and he just doesn't do it. And then the times that he is a place differential play, he has a mechanical issue. Like he's so hard. Like when we look, he's so hard to figure things out. Like when we look at the Roval race, 2021, starting the back, stone cold shock, blows a transmission. AJ is a guy I've played every Cup Series race I think in existence, and I can't remember one instance to where he's like worked for me. Like, yeah, I had him when he won at Indy, when half the fucking field died. So I wasn't even able to take advantage of that. So I kind of the opposite of McDowell. I almost never play McDowell. I always play AJ at road courses, and it just never works out for whatever reason for me. So based on that answer, I would say go ahead and play him. I've played him before. If I was doing more lines today, I'd probably end up playing him. I have him projected for 6 today with a few fast laps, and that is right at 40 points. So not even close on value. I don't know, man. If you think AJ wins this race, play him. If you don't think he wins it, avoid him. But as I said, as somebody who has played AJ in like every single road course race, he's usually not the reason why the line sucks, but he has really never elevated a line to do anything. Let me see what else. Sorry, I'm letting these dogs get quiet. Let me just look. Oh, AJ. Yeah, I'm just not interested in AJ. Gillen, Reddick. Let's see. Reddick. I mean, these aren't even similar plays here, but when we look at Reddick, do you think he beats Byron right off the bat? Do you think he gets the lead? If you think so, if you think Reddick wins the race, play him. I don't think Reddick wins this race, so I would not play him. I would play Byron over Reddick. Byron's cheaper. Head-to-head, Reddick has a slightly faster car that might come into play in the long run, but I think it's truly comes down to who survives turn 1 on the initial start. Whoever exits that corner is going to have the lead. And I think Cindric, Jordan Taylor, and Suarez are just as likely to get the lead out turn 1 than Reddick and stuff. So I just I'm not going to do Reddick in my one line. So take that with a grain of salt. Fantastic speed across the board for Reddick. Fastest in nearly every category, but I like Byron more. Is he worth the ownership? I don't even know what his ownership is, nor do I really give a shit. Let's go ahead and look through. What do I have him at? I doubt I even have him in lines. Yeah, I was not one to have any exposure to him when I ran my stuff. I'm assuming that he's going to be... I mean, if people want to play him, I would play William Byron, man. Like, I would much rather play William Byron over Tyler Reddick. Good morning, Brandon. What's going on, Cameron? Is Bubba Wallace a good choice? Man, I think I've answered this already. I don't remember. If he finishes 12th, it's a disaster. If he finishes 8th, he might work. So, quick summary, because I got more and more people joining here. There's a real chance that you just can't pass today. Outside of the restart, you're going to be stuck behind people. You're going to be spread out. You can't pass. That hinders place differential coming through. It hinders a lot of place differential coming through, and that helps out people starting in the top half of the field, holding on to that position all day. I think Bubba Wallace will probably run in the top 16 all day. It just depends on what happens at the end of the race. Is he able to get more positions to be optimal or not? If you were looking for cheaper drivers inside the top 20 to play, Michael McDowell, Ty Gibbs make a lot of sense to me. Bubba would be in that category as well, but he would be, way down, like as a not even as a secondary priority, but as tertiary and everything like past that. Like once you would have your fill of McDowell and Gibbs, then I guess you could go and goof around with Bubba Wallace. But I don't believe Bubba Wallace is going to compete for the win today. I know they're more expensive, but Larson, Chastain, they will compete for the win today. Just based on speed alone, based on where they're at. When we look at Bubba Wallace's P1 rank, he's 8th fastest, 12th fastest in terms of averages. His 5-lap speed is 6th fastest. His best 4-lap speed is 4th fastest in the field. But man, I don't want to play Bubba Wallace today, man. I'd much rather play Ty Gibbs. That's where I'm at there. No problem, Cameron. Let's see where we're at. As you guys can tell, like normally I'm excited. Normally I'm like, yeah, dude, like this is where I want to go here. This is where I want to go here. You can clearly tell I'm just not invested in this race at all. I just do not like this event. I just don't like this. I will use it, however, to gauge. I think this will be a great example of what the other road courses this year are going to look like. Okay, like honestly, outside of what your lines do, pay attention. Can people pass today? Pay attention. I implore you to do that, because this is what I'll be doing in this race. I am going to primarily focus on what Truex, Hamlin, McDowell, Austin Dillon, Harvick, Keselowski, Ryan Blaney, and Eric Almirola. I will be primarily focused on what they are doing in this race. I will not be paying attention to the leader. I will not be paying attention to my own line. I am focused primarily on, and I mean, I can do this by looking at lap by lap data later, but I would like the context of paying attention in this race to see what they do. How fast, and is it possible for these drivers to get through the field in the back? Because I believe on the initial green flag run, Harvick might stall out at like 23rd, 24th. Ryan Blaney might stall out at like 30th, 28th. 27th. Like when we actually think about like passing in a road course event, like seriously, think about this. If you're Blaney and you're starting last, you have 37 cars ahead of you in turn 1. You are leaving turn 1 and practically as the leaders are entering the S's at this point. Like realistically, you're down the hill. The leaders have taken the right-handed turn to entering the S. Like they haven't entered the S's yet, but they're taking the right-handed turn to get to the S's while you are still at the top of the hill. So Blaney, right off the bat, behind the leader, at least 6, 7, if not 8 seconds. Okay? Now, add that on to the fact that you are in second gear there, while everybody else in front of you is slowly shifting to either third or fourth as they gain more speed. Like Blaney coming out of lap 1 might be like 35th, might be like 33rd. Okay, the place differential has a long path all day getting up through the field. Okay, we know that, but the main takeaway in this race that I would implore you to pay attention to is not who's leading, not who's up front battling for the lead, not whatever propaganda they want to spout to you in the broadcast booth. No, I want you to pay attention to what these guys in the back are doing in this race, and it's going to be very difficult to do it on the TV broadcast. Find a international stream, follow along on NASCAR.com, or pull the data yourself at the end of the race and check and see how fucking long it takes for these guys to get through the field, because that is going to be a long day. And depending on how fast everybody back here can get through the field, you will know exactly how to build this year for the Chicago road course, which you're not going to pass there in general. How to build for Sonoma, how to build for Watkins Glen, because if you cannot pass here at COTA with the new package that they're wanting to run here, you're not going to be able to pass there. Okay, same thing with Phoenix. You could not pass at Phoenix, so I'm approaching Richmond this week as if you can't pass. Okay, that's what COTA is today. It's a wash for me. I don't have money invested in it. I don't really care about what happens here. My only interest is what the guys starting 28th on back can do and how long it takes them to get through the field. Okay? That's how it is. Let's see. 80. Yeah, I mean it's rough, man. It's a snore fest anyway. But that's what I would care about. Like don't bother with what Kimmy is fucking doing running 18th. It doesn't matter. Like I'm honestly curious on how fast Keselowski can get to 24th, how fast Blaney can crack the top 28. Like that's the main thing there. You have so much knowledge they need to put you as a talk host at NASCAR. Yeah, like that's what Fox needs. I'll be like, man, dude, it takes like 7 seconds for me to get Dale Earnhardt joke out there, and I'm already removed from the broadcast booth. But that's why I do this here. I would love, and it can't be for COTA. It has to be later in the year when I'm not as concerned about pulling data and stuff. Like I would love to do a watch together with people on here and just comment stuff, but I write so much stuff down. I pay so much attention. It'd be really, I really don't want to have to rewatch stuff like a third time during the week. It makes it very difficult. I have to find like a truck. Maybe this week at Richmond. The trucks race at Richmond this week. Maybe we can do a watch together or a watch along for the truck race at Richmond or something. Let's see. Explain to me why Austin Dillon is popular. Due to pricing, due to him probably projecting well. I also backtrack. Let's look at this again. There's a lot of people projected in the 30s today. Okay, that puts a lot of people in the value territory. When we look at people from 4.8 value to 5.5, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. I have 22 people within this close of hitting value. So a lot of good play, or it's going to make a lot of people look good. It'll then default to where they are in terms of like ranking. Right now, Austin Dillon projects to be probably the 4th to 2nd best value play on the slate. That's why he's popular. Okay, as I said, if you can't pass people, it's just kind of screwed there. Who can pass based on speed and how much they gain? B, who gets lucky with the elf? Yeah, and the speed is certainly like, when we look at Dylan, Harvick, Keselowski, all these drivers do not have top 10 speed. They have top 15 speed. Okay, so there's going to be a lot more people who have top 10 speed based, racing directly against, Dylan, Harvick, Keselowski, even Buescher. Like, I would, as I talk through this more and more, I would just absolutely lean on people not being able to pass. This race will be on while doing other things. However, it's DFS, which I love playing, and figure out strategy for each slate. Yeah, this is just not one that's even worth really caring about. I'm at here. Truck race at Texas next week. Oh, they are at Texas. Well, that kind of sucks. God damn it. That means that they're going to have two different... I hate it when they break the series up. I hate it when they're at two different places, man. That truck race is going to be dog shit. Well, it might turn into Wreckfest, so it might be entertaining. We'll see if Zane Smith can murder the field again. Yeah, we might just do a watch together for Texas and goof around there. You got Austin Dillon at 21 points, so that is... this is, backing up where I'm at. I gave Austin Dillon a grand total. He is projected to blow the slate apart, finishing 18th. Okay? That's what I have Austin Dillon projected for. Like, it's insane. We bumped that down to 20th. He's at 31 points. You bump it to 25th, and he's right at 20 points. So you got him, right at, 25th, 24th, somewhere around there. I think that's probably the appropriate way to project here. And due to that, like you would probably end up projecting, Harvick, who was worse on speed. Like Austin Dillon, yeah, sure, his ranking, his practice rank, he's 30th, okay? But best 5-lap average, he's 11th best in the field. Best 4-lap average, he's 10th best in the field. Harvick, Keselowski, all these guys are even slower than he is. And, I'm giving Keselowski I'm giving Austin Dillon an 18th. Like, there's a real chance I'm leaning more and more to that. I really am. As I talk through this, I really like playing Larson, Ty Gibbs, McDowell, Byron. Just playing those 4 drivers. Just hoping these guys don't pass, man. I still think Blaney can get through the field, but I'm leaning more and more to just not even goofing around with any other place differential play outside of Blaney, and just having guys hold their positions. And yeah, that's not even including what Pierce brought up is the random yellow and any random giving time. What these idiot crew chiefs do on pit lane. Like, I don't know where it happened. I don't know where this came from, but like crew chiefs just don't know how to manage fuel at all. I don't know how we keep running out of fuel. That doesn't make any sense at all. Like, this never happened. It rarely happened. Like before 2016, to where you'd have teams randomly run out of fuel. Like what? How? What? We've had multiple generations of race car drivers understanding what their fuel limit is, and then all of a sudden, since we've had stages, we've just forgotten how to save fuel, and we've just forgotten how to calculate fuel mileage, and we just have guys run out of fuel. We have Chevy with their idiotic pit strategies at the super speedways. Like, I mean, I would not be shocked to see some idiot run out of fuel today because their team we're like, oh, we were 1 lap off. What do you mean you're 1 lap off? That's like 2 miles. That's 3 miles. Like, how are you drastically off that much? What is going on here? So, whatever, there's that. If you guys lean toward Reddick or Byron, I would do Byron. Trying to win with no fuel. I also don't get that at all. Like, what is with these people? Be like, bam, we've entered our window to get to the end of the race. Like, what if you just stay out for like another lap? What if you do, like, just because you hit your window doesn't mean your fuel tank is empty now? That I've never understood that. These guys like never plan for like green, white checkers. They never plan for anything. They're like, oh, this race has 150 laps left. Our fuel mileage is 151. We're gonna pit with 150 laps to go. Like, just stretch it and pit with like 120 to go. Like, what are we doing? It makes no sense. So I would not be shocked to see these idiotic crew chiefs just do terrible decisions. Or like in the 2 races yesterday. Why was it like as soon as the stage was out, people would pit? Like, the only people who were playing it correctly were people like Kyle Busch in the Truck Series. Like, he's racing for the win. Like, everybody else pitting at like dumb times. Like, what? It makes no sense. I don't get this at all. I don't understand it. I don't understand why there are so drastically different strategies. Like, I understand if you're running the race backwards, or if you're running out, a certain, you either, because at some point in the race, you're either going to run long, like if you look at the start or finish. At some point, you either have a short run or a long run, and you can move that run to be at the beginning or the end of the race. What I don't understand, like, it makes sense that you're going to have, some people pitting at a short run to start the race or to end it. I just don't get the people who, like, pit where it doesn't even fall in between those two strategies. Like, what? I don't understand. Like, it makes no sense. Oh my god. Creature can set up a car, but that doesn't mean anything. They're very common race. RCR has improved since relying on that. Yeah. But still, like, that AI is the one who keeps messing up the teams at Daytona. How many times have Chevy lost the duels because of that strategy? And I don't remember what article it was. May have been a Toby Christie, may have been a Motorsports. I don't remember. It was probably even more niche than that. But that AI is the reason why Chevy keeps shooting themselves in the foot at the fucking plate races. It makes no sense. Can we not use common sense at times too? I will admit, like, that AI has been really good at helping these guys like short tracks and stuff, or like telling them, be like, hey, take 2 tires instead of 4. But I don't know, man. I think they're allocating money and resources to all the wrong locations when it comes to strategy. Like, you don't need, like, a crew chief right now. Yeah, you might be, thinking about what you're going to do for the setup and stuff, but you should already, like, it's not right now. Like, you plan your pit strategy like 3 weeks ago during the off season. Like, you shouldn't enter COTA today be like, I'm not exactly sure when we're going to pit. Like, I'm rambling left and right now. We are Way off of DFS picks. Thank you so much for the. Okay, I mean, Summer Daytona last year, everybody wrecked. Won Texas 2020. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it gets there. But, okay, Pierce, this is, I mean, I'm not having this argument here. Watch the duels, man. Like Atlanta, the only reason people didn't run out of gas at Atlanta was because all the crews were too scared of the new pit lane. That was fascinating. If you go back and watch that race, they ran it differently because everybody was so terrified of being trapped a lap down. People actually just ran the car until it was out of fuel. Like how they should do it. Nobody was trying to pit early. Nobody was trying to do anything dumb. It's so stupid. It's so crazy, man. Yeah, I'm just rambling at this point. There's a lot of variables that I'm just not a fan of. I don't like this race. I don't like this slate, and and that's reflected by the fact that I have one lineup, grand total of $20 on the table for this to mainly keep my stupid DraftKings achievements going. Past that, I'm just not. Like I said, I'm way more invested in where this line for golf ends up. We are currently tied for 93rd, and I'm hoping we can at least push into the 80s here. Also, shout out to the payout structure on the PGA pitch. $200,000 to first. You finished in the top 100, you get $300. Brutal. Unfortunate payout structure. I'm so pissed. I'm still mad at Power, man. I'm so mad at Power. Oh, man, he got eliminated in round 3. I'm so mad, man. I had 5. I almost had 6. I almost had 6 guys entering the weekend. Unfortunate. You know what's going on, BVP? You're not playing today. That's my takeaway, man. I am not interested in this slate. At this point, I've leaned more towards not chasing place differential and really leaning these people not being able to pass. I really like McDowell. I really like Ty Gibbs. I really like Larson. I'm probably going to play Byron over Reddick. My last 2 guys, I'm not really sure. I might try and get to Blaney. But, man, like, it really is a tale of 2 tapes, man. Like, if you didn't play Crafton in the truck race, which no fault of his own, I know there's some guy... I had people in Discord and somebody DM me on Twitter being like, well, that's what you get by playing somebody who had to go through the field on truck race. I was like, dude, are you even watching the race? Crafton got spun while he was in 8th position by a teammate in the S's. It was not him going through the field. I mean, there's nothing more I could want from Crafton from that. But, you know, highest owned driver there, Rex, you know, you get a huge leverage on the field. If you don't play Blaney today, that's a gigantic leverage. I think everything's saying play Blaney. I'm going to play Blaney, but I would not fault you if you really do believe that it's that. If, you know, Dylan Harvick, Jimmy Johnson, you know, Keselowski, Buescher, same thing with Truex, same thing with Hamlin. If you think these guys are going to struggle getting through the field, which COTA's going to spread out very quickly, you know, the Ryan Blaney play is a play that you're not going to see those lines cash until probably, you know, midway through stage 2. And if he doesn't even end up getting there, you got a real advantage. If this race goes green, like truly green, maybe 1 or 2 yellows here, but depending on where they're at, what part of the race there's a real chance that Blaney never even sniffs the top 16 today. So I just don't, man, just kick some money down the line. Play more at Richmond. You know, just move it to next week. You know, play NBA, play League of Legends. Just don't even, I mean, I don't like this slate. That's just where I'm at there. 125 of you guys here. I think I'm probably going to let you go pretty quick. Everybody's you kind of know where I'm at. If you're talking Reddick, you're saying he's winning day. Nothing in his performances this year that back it up. Once he gets past, he's total toast. Yeah, I thought you were saying that. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's that. I mean, Reddick has a fantastic car. The team knows what they're doing. Based on speed alone, he should have a top 3 car all day. But if people want to play Reddick just based on the practice data of a short practice session, excuse me, dude, give me Byron, who's been absolutely murdering the field, who has experience yesterday in the Xfinity Series race. Like, why would Byron not be the higher owned guy of these two? It makes no sense. If you're taking one lineup, what's your approach? What kind of, so Sterling, and I talked about this. Used to, whenever I do single entry lines, I would end up playing roughly the same amount of money. Because I'm like, oh, well, I'm going to do single entry today. Okay, all right. Clearly, you throw it in the 3, throw it in the 12. But, like, man, I'm doing single entry. I might as well throw it in the 44. Oh, the $88 is a 3 max. Yeah, that's close enough. I'll throw it in there. Let's see. I need the Rainbow Warrior. That's another $24. Let's throw it in there. And then by the time I was done with my single entry weekend, bro, I got like $200 on a fucking lineup. And then I'm like, well, shit, I should have just done my usual 20 max, And, so at this point, if I'm doing single entry, I'm just throwing $1. I'm throwing 1 in the 15, 1 in the 4. I'm not chasing the single entry contest. I'm not doing that because that's how I play all the other sports like NFL, NBA. I'm a one lineup player, but I just play every single entry contest there is, or every 3 max there is. So you end up having like NBA each, any slate I want to play, it's like $170 or something, So today just do 1 to 15. You'll thank yourself. I'm so sorry about your Kyle Busch bet. That's unfortunate. He ran out of time in the Truck Series. Sterling, that really sucks. Let's see. No, good luck to you, Big. Wreckfest after the first 10 cars, you want to be up front and clean air. Yeah, I mean it's a madhouse, man. It's terrible. I'm trying to think of a reference in the back of just an absolute slaughter, but I can't think of anything at the moment. But it's bad in the back of the field. Yeah, I mean that's it's. I mean that's just how it is, man. I try and be as honest as I can, and yeah, I just don't want to play this slate, man. I really don't. And it's so hard. Like let's honestly talk single entry, real fast. Like real talk. If you're a single entry player in NASCAR, your life is brutal. That has to be one of the most frustrating things I think I've ever seen. But just looking at single entry alone, like this is where I'm at. And this is how, like, I have to be at this point where I'm like, I'm not even putting money on this. But, like, the $12 single entry, great line. For me personally, my time is not worth playing one $12 line in a single entry contest that pays $2,500 to first. That I will most likely not get there. Pays out 22% of the field. A good day is you're probably going to finish 20th, and that's $75. Not worth my time. The Rainbow Warrior, almost filled at this point, still pays out just as bad. Top 10 gets 43% of the payout. It's just not there. $50 single entry, the contest that I would encourage you to probably play more than the other single entries. You still got to finish 56 to even cash there. Like, single entry, you have to play just as, if not more aggressive than the $15 contest. Or you have to enter a lot of those contests, a lot of single entry contests to even really make anything. And so it just isn't worth it. That was always like the contest that I really liked that they don't have. Oh, they do have it. They don't have it for Xfinity. The 121. Like, see, this is a situation. Like, the best single entry contest today on DraftKings for the Cup Series is the 121. A lot of people, that's out of their budget. You don't feel comfortable putting $121 on a single line. If you don't cash, that's a lot of money. If you do cash and you min cash, it's $250. That's when it becomes worth it and stuff. But like 24% of the field gets paid on this. You have one bad guy, have a bad pit stop, gets wrecked out, just done. So like single entry NASCAR is absolutely brutal. One of the probably the worst sport to play single entry on. I would much rather play single entry for literally anything else. Maybe not baseball. Baseball and NASCAR go hand to hand there, but after that, like single entry just absolutely blows for NASCAR. So just always enter the 15 GPP. That's how I look at it. Yeah, dude, chicken nuggets freaking rule. Way better than bone-in. I was watching the Hot Ones Bob Odenkirk uh, episode this morning, and I was like, man, I would love to be on that show, but I would ask, I do, I forgot who did it. A couple actresses that have done it where they're like, excuse me, can I have some chicken nuggets? And I don't want bone-in wings. That's how I would be. Let's see. Yeah. Although, I don't know, man. Fox, I don't know. Would it be that bad if I was in the booth? Like, honestly, what's the worst sin in the Fox booth if you had me, Mike Joy, Tony Stewart, and Clint Boyer? Man, those, if you believe in religion, I mean, two people there are getting judged. Okay? If you believe in karma, I guess I would fall into their category as well. I'm kind of edgy and stuff, but like that's already a sinful booth. I mean, so I don't know, maybe I don't make Fox any worse than what it is now. You know? Are we just playing the dudes from the back? No, we're not doing that, Darren. I am about to end this stream so you can go back and listen on 2x Darren, but I'm leaning more and more and more and more to not even mess around with people in the back and just playing people who are going to run top 20 for a majority of the race and hoping that they don't lose their positions and things like that. So, real quick, thank you very much, Pat, for always being here, always supporting the channel. Ryan, thank you very much for the $5 super chat. Doug, thank you very much for the $20 super chat. And BVP for always being here, always supporting the channel, always tuning in. And we're slowly seeing the stream numbers improve. We're slowly seeing just a lot of the support improve. So thank you guys very much. And I will see you guys this week for Richmond and Texas for the Truck Series race. And I'm thinking I might go live and talk you through and just react to the Truck Series race with you guys. So let me know if you guys want that. And I will see you guys next week. Best of luck today. Play light.